Okay. Pull up the right script. Bolt of lightning, a distant rainy, an old Frankenstein castle, as we knew and love it, is illuminated another bolt of lightning. We then go into a study. An open coffin rests in the table. We do not see its contents as the camera slowly circles the coffin for a better view. Clock chimes 1, 2, 3, 4. We're almost facing the front of the coffin. 5, 6, 7, 8. The camera stops now and moves up to a satin-lined coffin. 9, 10, 11, 12. Half of the still clinging to the wax bomb. The first half is decayed skull. Below the skull is a skeleton whose bony fingers cling to a metal box. A hand reaches to grasp the metal box. It lifts the box halfway out of the coffin. The skeleton fingers rising involuntarily with the box. Then, as by force of will, the skeleton's fingers grab the box and place it where it was. Now the hand, using its other hand, grabs the box back from the skeleton's fingers. Skeleton no longer resists. Cornelius Waldman, whose hands we've just seen, now carries the box to a small table. He takes a tiny key out of his vest pocket and begins to unlock the metal box. 9 people watching him closely. They are seated in chairs in the study, waiting to hear the contents of Beaufort von Frankenstein's will. Their address is Turn of the Century, Transylvania. Cornelius Waldman fumbles with the lock, emitting strange grunts as he tries to open it. With each grunt, the face of the potential heir is seen squirming in frustration or anger. Where's Walter?
Okay.
That says first villager.
Okay,
that's Quinney, right? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Fumbling fool! For 2 kronen, I'd rip that box right out of his hands.
It should be an Ilsa. Holly just stripped it. You're who did I make Henrik? Because there is a Henrik, I swear to God.
That's me. Okay.
Okay.
So the 90-year-old villager is also Henrik. Okay. All right. Hurry, idiot! Hurry!
Quiet, Heinrich. We wasted 70 years. Another 3 or 4 seconds won't hurt.
Another 3 or 4 more seconds. I could be dead by then.
Archie's left out!
Just let him try. I'll take care of him.
That's you, Raechel, Anastasia.
Oh, Mommy, I hardly remember. Did the Baron really like me when I was a child? Like a father.
Mother and daughter.
It is a better kind. See me. Believe you, brother. I reckon was some type of match.
Cornelius Waldman finally opens the lock. He takes out the old parchment, puts his glasses on, coughs and sputters a few times, and then begins to read.
I, Beaufort Frankenstein, in this my 83rd year of life, do hereby make, publish, and declare the following statements as and for my last will and testament, and I direct my executor, Cornelius Waldman, to inform and assemble those persons previously divulged to him that they may hear, in my own voice, the final disposition of my property. Such disposition to commence at the hour of 12 o'clock of my 100th birthday, if all the conditions heretofore set have been met. Now then, hear once more and for the last time the authenticity of my own voice.
Cornelius Waldman nods to the clerk, Herr Frankenstein, who's standing nearby. Herr Frankenstein places a needle on an old Victorian onto an RA spinning record. It scratches and begins to play. How do you do this thing? Where? In here? Just talk right into it? All right, Am I close enough? All right. Get the hell out of here. The proud name of Frankenstein. Shit. The proud name of Frankenstein has been dragged by my only son, Victor, into abyss of shame. There was a time when the name Frankenstein conjured dreams of virtue, of honor, and devotion. Now, no guilt, no malignant, no misery can be found to equal mine. And the catalogue of sins of my once devoted son will not cease to rancor in my wounds until death shall close them forever. So supremely frightful is the sight of any human endeavor to mock the stupendous mechanism of the creator of the world. Did you get all that? Are you sure? You got rancor in my wounds? I'll kill you if you screw this up. All right, shut up, never mind. All right. Now, as the deposition of my estate to my cousins Heinrich and Agatha, and to my cousin Walter and his wife Elise, and to my niece Helene, and my dear nephew Wolfgang, and lastly to my cherished old friend Marlene, and her charming daughter Anastasia. To all of you in equal shares, I hereby give and devise and bequeath, absolutely and without any reservation whatsoever, all property of every sort and description, whether real, personal, or mixed, to which my estate shall be entitled. Everyone begins hugging each other, unless they all look up suddenly from their hugging. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The needle has reached the end of the first side. Herr Frankenstein lifts the arm to turn the record over.
It's 78.
Unless my only male heir, my great-grandson Frederick, whom I've never seen, but who is at this time of this recording 10 years of age and residing in America with my granddaughter Catherine, has by his own free will embraced medicine as his career and acquainted himself with some measure of esteem, then to him I leave everything. My castle, together with its laboratory, its public-private library, and old notes and journals containing therein are equated surrounding my estate, plus all income and principal thereof, in the fond hope that yet another Frankenstein shall lift our family name to our eminence of dignity and sanity that it once enjoyed. As for my dear friends and relations, should this latter improbability come to be, I know that I have your complete understanding. For the road of salvation and repentance must be paved up the avenue of my soul, and not up yours, up yours, up yours, up yours, up yours. Herr Frankenstein removes the needle from the finishing the record.
Herr Foxstein, did you inform Frederick Frankenstein of this assembly and all the particulars of the time and place?
I did, sir. But I received a cable only this morning saying that he could not come.
Was he aware of the importance of this occasion?
Yes, sir, he was. But he said he would be obligated to lecture at Johns Hopkins University.
What lecture could be more important than the will of Baron Beaufort Frankenstein?
Functional areas of the cerebrum in relation to the skull.
Excuse me, Mr. Waldman. Excuse me for interrupting, but is Frederick then a medical doctor?
Yes, my dear, he is.
And has he achieved any special degree of eminence?
He is the 5th leading authority in his field.
Oh, shit.
Herr Foxstein, you must go at once and present Dr. Frankenstein with all the details of his inheritance. The estate will provide you for your journey.
I object, Herr Waldman. This is a travesty. If the beloved great-grandson cared anything at all for the House of Frankenstein, he would have shown it by being here with those of us who still have some respect. I think we should completely disregard the afterthoughts of a very, very old man.
Madam, The foundations of civilization rest upon the adherence of the law, and the law is the law. Das Gesetz ist das Gesetz. Our Foxstein, you have your instructions.
Yes, sir.
I have taken an oath that each letter of the testament shall be executed, and by God, it shall be done.
Dissolve into a medical area. Herr Foxstein quietly enters into the balcony of the area packed with young medical students. A lecture is in progress.
If we look at the base of the brain, which has just been removed from the skull, there's very little of the midbrain that we can actually see. Yet, as I demonstrated in my lecture last week, if the upper aspects of the temporal lobes are gently pulled apart, the upper portion of the stem of the brain can be seen. This so-called brainstem consists of the midbrain, a rounded protrusion called the pons, and a stalk tapering downward towards called the medulla oblongata, which passes out of the skull through the foramen magnum and becomes, of course, the spinal cord. Which brings us directly to the demonstration prepared for today. Are there any questions before we proceed?
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
I beg your pardon?
My name is pronounced Frankenstein.
Oh, I thought it was Dr. Frankenstein.
No, it's Dr. Frankenstein.
But aren't you the grandson of the famous Dr. Victor Frankenstein, who performed such fascinating experiments in electricity and galvanism?
That's true. But my grandfather, Victor, was, after all, what we might politely refer to as a cuckoo. I prefer by far to be remembered for my own small contributions to science. Now we can proceed to your questions.
Well, sir, I'm not sure I understand the distinction between reflexive and voluntary nerve impulses.
Very good. Since our lab work today is a demonstration of just that distinction, why don't we proceed?
Behind Freddie is a patient lying on the operating table. Carlson, an assistant, stands near the patient next to the small table of instruments.
What are we actually talking about when we use the term brain? We're talking about a cauliflower. May I have the cauliflower, please? If we make a small slit down the center of this cauliflower, and then ever so gently pull it apart, we should find, with any luck at all, a stalk of celery. Where did you get this cauliflower?
From your office, sir.
Didn't you prepare it with the celery before my lecture?
Yes, sir. But I must have taken the wrong one when we came up.
Are you trying to make me look like an idiot?
No, sir. It will never happen again.
Here, this cauliflower is useless to me. With any normal cauliflower, we would have found a stalk of celery or brain stem, which brings us to the practical application of our study. Mr. Hilltop here, with whom I have never worked or given any prior instructions to, has graciously offered his services for this afternoon's demonstration. Mr. Hilltop.
Sir.
Have we ever met each other before this afternoon?
No, sir.
Tell them.
No, sir. We haven't.
Do I lie? Would you be so kind enough to hop on your table and stand beside this table?
Mr. Hilltop gets off the table and stands erect.
Mr. Hilltop, would you raise your left knee, please?
He does so.
You have just witnessed a voluntary nerve